as well as my speech to help myself in conversations, whether they are social. Having genuine conversations is something that I would like to experience more often. And really take light to. I want to know just where I need to pause and take in the insight and influence that someone may be trying to speak out to me, and not be so quick to let judgment interfere with myself of reason, and give myself time to reflect on what is being delivered to me. And with much inhale and exhaling my expression, I'm quite sure that it will become easier for me to pull off a conversation without going too deep into what exactly is trying to be introduced my way. We can get so wrapped up in what others may think or have decided that it can go against our own better judgment. I want public speaking to be something within myself that I can improve, as well as airing out and discarding my filter words. Words such as and hesitive words within my dialect that I use because I am feeling uncomfortable, unsure of where I stand in a conversation, and also not trusting myself with what I feel and giving it off to this social environment. A lot of times we can take what is being given our way through dialect, and it may cause us to have moments of hesitation that will stop our speech in its tracks and take us on another path, causing much stall behavior and going into the vault of filter words filled with the ums as well as the buts, instead of really going with our first thought at hand and letting ourselves show through our own identity flags that we should be able to rise right as the sun shows itself in every bit of its orange and fiery colors. Standing proud with my speech pattern is something that I would like to be more comfortable in. Really remembering and identifying with who I have chosen to be, with remembrance and aiming for patience situations in adulthood that we could feel to be damaging, and we may take the safe route. But if we give ourselves a chance with what really needs to be said and go in the back of our minds and pinpoint all areas of frustration as well as patterns of confusion, we will be able to just give ourselves a positive outlook on just what it means to speak very thoroughly and clearly. But it does take practice. Practice makes perfect. And as soon as we can make it upon ourselves to reflect our identities and connect it with our speech patterns, we can become a force that can reassure us in the right direction. And a lot of good will come from our dialect and our reasons within our language that can bring precise and regular conversation and add our tastes to whatever may be ringing in our minds to just say. I wanted the second half of this video to include a favorite of mine, and that is plain yogurt. If I continue to go in the area of bringing about better speaking abilities, I can go far. I must reach into my brain with a more complex stature, and I can't let fatigue be the death of my conversations. At times we build around embarrassment and fright at such a increased state that we are left with limited choices, because somewhere inside ourselves we don't believe in who we have grown to be. But taking full charge, whether you have people that are going to stand in your corner proudly, or take what is said by you for granted, you still have to come through to be your better self. And what better way to it's always good to start conversations where you feel the most comfortable at. You may want to practice in a mirror. If you know it could be a speech that is coming your way within the future, or you can also go out to your local coffee shops and maybe sparking up a conversation. But if you feel just a little bit fearful, you're not ready for the space that could become a crowd, start somewhere like a library. And you can read softly the words of a good book. Speech has to start somewhere, and as we dim down our fearfulness and fright to not be hesitant and consume so many filter words because we feel we may get picked on for our hesitation, or evolution